Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Monday, the 2nd of September 2024. I'm Michael Thompson. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about, so let's get going. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed up 0.2% today to 8,110 points, with a surprise afternoon uptick reversing early morning declines and pushing the market close to its previous record high. Financials and energy were the top performing sectors over the day, with the banks behind the afternoon surge. Gold, metals and mining materials all fell pretty sharply, with drops in both gold and the iron ore price weighing on the market. Jewellery company Lovisa Holdings bounced back a bit today as well, with shares up 3.1% after seeing quite a drop at the end of last week amid concerns about discretionary consumer goods despite solid results. Bellevue Gold fell 9.1% after posting results, followed by Red 5 down 7.4%. Dreamworld's owner, Coast Entertainment, suffered a share price fall of 1.9%. It followed news that an animal handler was bitten by a tiger at the Gold Coast theme park, and REA Group put a halt to trading this morning as it announced it's considering making a move for London-listed online property portal Rightmove, which is the top residential listing service in the UK. After resuming trading, shares fell 5.3% over the day. On to story number 2 now. The Star Entertainment Group has been suspended from trading on the ASX after the Star received its copy of a review from the New South Wales regulator into its operations late last week. It held off publishing its financial results and went into a trading halt. It then failed to post results today, and the ASX stepped in and suspended securities for falling behind the due date. There is not yet any date for when the suspension will lift. The Australian Financial Review reported that over the weekend, Star's executives were looking for ways to relax debt obligations, and that without a way to raise capital or move past this episode, it may face being put up for sale. On to story number 3. September has been off to a rough start after a record-breaking hot August. One person has been killed and more than 100,000 Australians left without power as wild weather lashes the east coast on the weekend and today. There have been some chaotic scenes across parts of Australia. In Victoria, about 121,000 people were without power, and there were hundreds of fixed-line phone customers unable to make or receive calls by 10 a.m. this morning. 2,800 people had called for assistance amid fallen trees and building damage. Just across the border at Moama in New South Wales, a woman was killed when a tree fell on a holiday cabin. Elsewhere in the state, dozens of grass and bushfires were ablaze, some of which are still out of control. And in Tasmania, there have been evacuations of some areas due to flooding, and about 25,000 people were still without power today. There are expected to be some big insurance claims filed over the next few days and weeks. Story number 3, the Greens are pushing to establish a national renters protection authority to deal with tenancy disputes and to enforce new minimum rental standards. The authority would cost $200 million a year with 1,000 national staff members to investigate rental breaches, but also undertake advocacy, advice and education work for tenants. It would be able to levy fines of up to $18,780 against real estate agencies and instant fines of more than $3,700. The idea is that this authority would actually replace tribunals in states and territories that are regularly backed up with these kinds of cases. The Greens are also pushing for a 2-year rental freeze, 2% per annum caps for rent increases, and the right to have an option to access 5-year leases and guaranteed renewals. And finally, story number 5, X has officially gone offline in Brazil after owner Elon Musk chose not to comply with the country's laws. It's left millions of local users locked out of the social media platform. The Supreme Court in Brazil had ordered X to scrap anti-democratic and far-right voices from the service following major upheaval locally. Musk refused and missed a deadline to name a new local legal representative after closing its Brazilian office in August. Now, locked-out Brazilians have been flocking to rival Blue Sky, according to The Guardian, which has racked up an extra 500,000 users over just 2 days. This number may yet skyrocket, with X having had 22 million users in Brazil. There has been a backlash against the Brazilian Supreme Court, though, and it's likely that this will be an evolving story. That's it for the afternoon report for Monday, the 2nd of September 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok and Facebook. Join us tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson. Enjoy your evening.